Hey everyone,
Hi,
I'm Alina Klein, therapist at Harper Therapy.
and I'm Tony Gorn, also a therapist at Harper Therapy.
Welcome to Tuesday's Facebook Live. Today we're going to be talking about anxiety and rumbling with anxiety, an emotion or feeling that most of us are not big fans of.
And everybody deals with anxiety at some point. Everybody
Yeah.
has a different definite. It looks different on everyone. So I think sometimes people don't even realize how they react to anxiety. I was sharing today that I listened to a podcast with Brene Brown, and she was talking about overfunctioning and underfunctioning. And she explained that when you're overfunctioning, it's when anxiety happens and you just can't seem to stop, and you have to micromanage and take control of everything, and you just keep going. You can't stop. And I literally had to like stop the podcast and be like, that's me. She totally just described me. And yeah, absolutely. It was like, I felt that in my soul. I was like, huh. So then, and I never considered myself a very anxious person. So to be able to hear that, I was like, okay, now I can recognize that when that's happening, to stop, take a breath. What's going on? Where is that stemming from? And then there's the opposite of that, the underfunctioning, where you kind of just want to sleep more maybe, or you don't want to complete activities because there's so much anxiety. That's my husband. Clearly we're very opposite.
Balance each other out,
Yes,
sure.
absolutely. So then when you find yourself doing that, kind of being able to sit up and be like, huh, why am I suddenly sucked with my energy? What's going on around me? I think that that's an important key in managing your anxiety.
Right. And anxiety has a lot to do with control, right? Because we often get anxious over things that we have no control over. Sometimes we want to control our feelings. Sometimes we want to control the feelings of other people. And in reality, that's not something that we really do have control over. So, one of the tools that I show clients sometimes is talking. It's actually a tool I got from The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Many of you may know that book, written by Stephen Covey. He talks about the circle of influence versus the circle of concern. So I'll just hold up this little diagram. You can all see it. Okay, whatever. I'll go over it, talk it through. But so we all have things that we have influence over. So the things we have influence over might be what time we get up in the morning, what time we go to bed, what we eat, right? Our reactions, the way we communicate with people. We also have things that we're very concerned about, right? We might be concerned about politics, things happening in the world, the news, what our loved ones are doing, what they're not doing. Other things that we might be concerned about are like, what are our kids? How are they going to end up? How's their health? Lots of things that we have concerns about. The thing that really influences our anxiety and our ability to be proactive versus reactive is where we place our focus. So if we place our focus on the circle of concern, that is what's going to grow, right? We're going to be more and more concerned about the things that are going on around us and feel like we have very little influence over the outcomes of things. So in psychology terms, this is called internal versus external locus of control. When we focus on the things that we actually have influence over, our circle of influence actually grows, and our circle of concern, because we're so focused on the things that we actually have influence over, our circle of concern tends to grow smaller. That's not to say that the things that we're concerned about go away. It just means that we are focusing on the things that we can change versus the things we can't. Maybe thinking in your lives, like, how big is your circle of concern every day? Are you thinking, where are you placing your focus? Are you thinking about all the things that you have no ability to change but want to? That would be your circle of concern. Or are you focusing on the things that you actually are able to do and just taking that one step towards completing a task, or having a hard conversation, right? Or setting a boundary, or spending quality time with your loved ones, right? Or feeling an emotion that's uncomfortable that you don't want to feel. Those are all things that are within your circle of influence. So, in dealing with anxiety, working with anxiety, we're encouraging you to look at that circle of influence, what you do have control over, focus on it, right? And then allow those concerns to fall away. That's not to say, like Tony said earlier, that we get into overfunctioning, right? Where we're just going to constantly do, and how can I control all these things? We have to find that balance. But, starting there, looking at the things we actually have influence over versus the things we're concerned about is a good place.
Absolutely.
To begin.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think that's it for today. We good?
I think so. I think
All
we got
right.
it.
Thanks, everyone.
Thanks.